Hey guys, Plague here. This is the 21st century, it's a dystopia. So essentially, we're going into psychology you know, black pill vid, right? Where we're gonna talk about essentially we're gonna talk about how uh human beings. This is definitely, especially if you guys want to start a business, make money, content creation, or just make a great impression, right? And get results from people wherever you want. Like status, success, and appearing like you already have something, like having the look of you having something, or just having something like a bunch of clout, status, just when something perceived to look like it has high value, human beings will like pretty much in a modern sense they'll clout suck, like they'll clout chase, or they'll clout d like they'll they'll d-ride, essentially. And it's just a very crazy thing, like with YouTube numbers, botting, etc. So let's go into it.
Believed that bottled water is one of the biggest scams, so he set out to prove it. He created a fake luxury Italian bottled water brand called Acqua di Rubinetto, which literally means tap water in Italian. With clever marketing and fancy wine bottles to elevate the presentation, he filled each bottle with tap water straight from his kitchen sink. Then he entered the product into a water tasting competition, and the judges' reactions will shock you.
I like the smell of red. My palate was like, whoa. Easy to drink. I agree. I really like it. To drink.
Took me right back to my childhood.
And after receiving positive reviews about the fake luxury water, they're about to ask the judges to guess the price.
Do you guys want to guess the price?
Brutal, 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 brutal status pill, brutal first impression pill. This is why, for example, like looks and appearances and appearing high value is it's better than actually necessarily being high value, because a lot of this stuff is relative. you know um if you look at watch them raise the prices, and these are the most snobbish people and stuff like that. Now, this don't always work. Like, you can't, like, it's a joke, he used tap water, but you can't always like prank them like that. Like, some people are professionals, and yeah, sometimes it is hard to tell. In general, I ain't gonna lie, like with labels and brand, it is hard to tell sometimes, which proves a point. But a lot of times you got a lot of professionals here and there who knows their shit, so even if they're kind of tricked, they'll sense something's off. Like, they're like, what? No, I taste it. Like, they're so adept, that something's not gonna feel right. So you do have exceptions like that, but for a vast majority, this would work, bro. This would work. Like, if you have the exterior of a Lamborghini, but the inside, if your engine, if the engine quality you can only, if the quality of engine you have is really like a Toyota, take a Lamborghini body exterior and put it over that ex Toyota, and keep going. Obviously, this is like just relative. It's a grain of salt. Like, obviously, realistically, they're gonna be like, "Oh, something's wrong with this Lamborghini." Da, 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 da. It's not right, but it's relative, bro. It's just a figurative, right? It's not that deep. People are gonna fall for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm getting a lot of notifications. What the hell's going on? People just blowing shit up. Damn. But let's see what they say for the prices.
500?
$300. Is she crazy? For a fucking bottle of water?
That's maybe like $400.
Sometimes marketing matters
For a bottle of water.
more than the actual product. This guy believed
He says sometimes marketing matters than the actual product. I'll even say most times marketing matters more than the actual product. Not all the time, because sometimes people do want a good product. People do nitpick that but most of the time, if you have a very powerful marketing, as long as the product isn't complete shit, and they could kind of somewhat keep up the part, even if it's a little, bro, yes, it's more important in that case. All right, let's move on to the next example. So, okay, these are some other shit. So, There's this brand called.
This guy believed that bottled water is...
Hold up. Oh my god, this shit's annoying. So there's this brand called Palessi, right? And oh my gosh, bro. This one, if you thought that was good, this one they bodied it better than anybody else. Right? So let's watch his video.
No, they were our shoes. So, we rebranded for a weekend.
Yo,
We at Payless wondered how much people would pay for our shoes if they didn't know they were our shoes. So, we rebranded for a weekend.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy ACL Official back with another video. Now before I go ahead and play you the rest of that video clip, let me give you a bit of context into what's going on. So obviously everyone knows luxury brands have very high prices. For example, you've got brands like Christian Louboutin selling trainers for £2,000. You've got Balenciaga selling the triple S's for around £700. It's pretty much become the norm to equate.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, triple S's are like their flagship shoes. Like, come on. Like, whatever the other one, I don't know if that was their flagship, but like, come on, bro. Like, of course, bro. High demand, you know? They're triple, like, it's high demand. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like if there's high demand for it, I know they're not using cheap garbage materials to make triple S. I know they're using pretty good material. Are they old? Is the price probably an overestimate? Yeah, but that's for a lot of different products. Sometimes they do take it far, but most of the time that's for a lot of products. That's the luxury industry, right? They're giving you good stuff, but of course the price goes into the luxury aspect of it, and the rarity and supply and demand. They know human psychology and human nature too, black pill, so yeah. I mean, I don't think that's crazy. I think that's should be expected. Large prices like that, But what about their quality? And it's not all of. It's like a lot. It's more than just the quality of making the shoe. It's a lot of stuff that go into a product.
High prices with luxury products. Now 3 months ago, Payless, which is a low-cost footwear retailer over in the US, they went ahead and tested this theory. What they did was rebrand their entire store and the name, and they also increased their prices a lot, and the results are quite interesting. So what I'm going to do now is play you the rest of the clip, and I'll be back in a minute.
We at Payless wondered how much people would pay for our shoes if they didn't know they were our shoes. So, we rebranded for a weekend. We built a fake luxury store, filled it with avant-garde sculptures and displays. We even hired a full team of sales associates. Then we filled all the shelves with Payless shoes and jacked up our prices as much as 1,800%. And finally, we gave it what you might call a fancier name. Welcome to Palessi.
Palessi is just such high quality, high fashion. It's taking your shoe game like up to the next level.
It's like very, European, very, upscale.
The guests at the Palessi grand opening party had no idea any of these shoes were from Payless.
It looks really well made. I love a heel that's kind of chunky because it means you can like jump up and down, do some backflips maybe.
It's a stunner. It's one of those.
Yeah, it's relative. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Those are the best customers to have in luxury branded stuff. The clout idiots. And you can say even like Casanat streams and stuff. You can even say that for a lot of people who follow Casanat, a lot of people who follow certain musicians. Like a lot of people with big fan bases, the bulk of their base, if not, I don't know nowadays, if not botted, the bulk of their base, bro, is definitely not really loyal fans. They're kind of just there because it's a lot of people and the numbers and the hype. They're kind of there for the hype, So a lot of bulk of these people fans, they're not even really true fan. Like they're just there for the hype, so they're feeding into it. Same thing with that. These are just people who are there for the hype. That's it. Like they just like the hype and the social aspect of it. which is cool. That's one side of it, you know. So you're gonna get a lot of customers like that. But of course, they're never gonna say that. They're gonna, of course, they're like, oh, quality, product quality. But deep down, when you pay attention to their actions, I mean, look, these guys are liking a shoe that's, you know, God knows what, because they're already assuming, you know, it's what it is, you know, which it should be. Which 9 times 10 when you go to the luxury place, the product should be that. But you still do your research. You know, yeah, if you like something, you like something, but you still do your research. Why does it cost so much? What type of leather is this made out of? You know, I still look up certain garments, bro, and how they're constructed and made. I like fashion. I look up certain garments and can see how they're constructed and made and stuff like that, you know, just out of curiosity sometimes. So like a guy like me, you know, shopping, I would definitely be like peering through here and some stuff. I'd be like, what's this made out of? Like, I'll feel the texture, feel it all. You got some like real deal. You got the other side who people are just quality people. They just like quality. They just like a good feel, right? It's really that feel they like, and they'll see the bullshit. So it's double-sided, but for the most part, yes, majority of this is true. Majority of this is true. Most people would get got by this, you know? And that goes, and I can go into looks and dating as well. Like, you know, this is just human psychology, man. Like, if you just appear greater than what you are, you know, if you appear greater than things, you know, that's what it is. But you know what? I'm gonna make another video called, oh damn, my alarm came on. But yeah, I'm gonna make another video called clout coins, right? Because clout is a new currency, bro. It's
The
a new,
protest
wait,
stuff
hold up. Clout's a new currency.
is
You
going
know
to
what I'm
be
saying?
more.
Hold on, bro. Shut the fuck up. Damn, that's just annoying. But yeah, clout's the new currency. That's essentially what it is. Clout's the new currency. And they were raising the prices to 300. People was actually buying it, but I think they had to like resell, you know, because they didn't want to get, you know. But yeah, like they're rebuying it and stuff like that. But then you wonder, well, why is it? Then you wonder why is it so hard to sell a small business? Or why is it so hard to get people to support local small business? Because there's no hype, there's no perception, there's no desirability, there's no demand behind it. So there's no incentive for them. You know, like, you know, people thinking that people's incentive to be kind and positive outshines their true nature. They're fools, bro. Like, that's not most people. Like, maybe me, you know, a few here and there, but for the most part, most people, bro, it's not. You shouldn't rely on people's kindness or people's just rational, regular logic. Like, bro, you know, you need to look like something that people should go out their way for. You know, you need to give that vibe and impression that there's something to go out their way for. You know, damn, I'm just getting bombarded by it. I need to stop subscribing to so many people. But yeah, and that's that, bro, guys. And that's that for that video. Yeah.